It's not about your damn phone. You are not getting things done. But it's not because you glue to your phone all day. And you don't need a digital detox to fix your procrastination. Have you ever experienced this? You put your phone away, maybe a few feet across the room, maybe you toss it in a drawer, or you put it in some weird place, just to finally focus. But then you sit down at your laptop, and still nothing's happened. You end up scrolling TikTok, watching random YouTube videos, checking your Amazon carts, Googling stuff that you don't even need. Your brain's just all over the place. If this is you, then this video is for you. I'm going to show you the real reason that you're not getting things done and how to actually fix it. From my experience in procrastination, I can tell you that fixing the root cause is far more effective than just throwing your phone away. After this, you won't need to ban your phone, go on a digital detox, or download 10 productivity apps just to finally get things done. There's a study conducted to determine if phones are really the problem of procrastination and distraction. Participants had to work in a private room for 2 5-hour sections. With one section, their phone is beside them, and another section is their phone is 1.5 meters away from them. The results show that even the phone is being put away, they would look for long work activities like browsing, scrolling YouTube videos, messaging, entertainment from their laptop. So this really indicates that your phone is never the problem. It is more than that. Another interesting study also showed that 89% of our time, which means almost 9 out of 10 time, when we reach out to our phone, it is self-initiated. You don't receive any notification or even you are on your lock screen. This really shows that your phone is not the main problem. So if it's not your phone causing you procrastinate, then what will be the problem? It's not you as well. It is the task itself. It is the task that you are currently working on. In a studies, office workers were tracked on how much they've used their phone on a 3 full working days. The researchers compare how much they have used their phone before and after feeling tired and fatigued, and how they felt after using their phone. So the participants have to download a tracking app that will automatically track how much they've used their phone down to every single second. The participants also have to fill in a survey every hour to rate how bored or fatigued they felt. And the results show that a 10-point increase in boredom or fatigue has led to 40 to 50% higher of the phone usage in the next 20 minutes. Extra information, the participants who used their phone after they felt bored or tired has claimed that it did not reduce any fatigue or boredom. It just made them worse. So this is contrary to the belief that phone acts as a refreshing break. Another research study also shows similar results. The researchers split 112 college students for 2 groups, and one group had to copy 2 references from Chinese physics paper, while the other group had to copy 10 of them. So which means the group that copied 10 of them will be marked as high boredom group, while the group that just have to copy 2 of them is marked as low boredom group. The researchers measured the states of boredom, how bored they felt at that moment, their smartphone, how badly do they want to use their phone even without any external cues. The results show that students in the high boredom group has 55.5% higher cravings for smartphone usage when compared to the low boredom groups. The cravings has increased even though there is no notifications at present. I actually had the same experience on myself. As a quantity surveyor, I have to measure every element of the building and then put it together to a cost plan. Sometimes it just gets really boring when you have to measure something over and over again. Let's say lighting, because we use a software to just click the lighting, and then the software will record how much lightings that we have clicked. So for the whole few hours, I'm just click, and then you have to imagine that there's not just your apartment, it is the whole building. There are so many units in one building, and there's so many lights in one building. It kind of feels like you're playing one of those carnival games that where the head pops up and you have to whack it down with a toy hammer. Except this is way less fun, and it is not just 2 to 3 minutes thing, it can be 2 to 3 hours. So after a while, let's say you just click for 15 to 30 minutes, you start to get really bored. And I catch myself, I will start to crave for using my phone. I just want to check Instagram or just watch one YouTube videos. And of course, I kept telling myself that I will back to work just for one YouTube video. And I think you all know what will happen. It will never just stop at one video. I will watch one video after one, and after one, I will scroll my Instagram for 5 minutes, 15 minutes, and then 30 minutes, just because it is so boring. The task that I'm working on is so boring. So even though the task is just take 2 to 3 hours to finish it, I end up using my entire day to work on the task. So I usually get really frustrated when I was being assigned to a boring task, because even though it is pretty easy, but I know that because the task is very boring, it will never just take 2 to 3 hours for me to finish. It will take up my entire day or even 2 days, because I will just procrastinate. But the thing is, at work, you can't choose what you want to do and what you don't want to do. So I know that I've got to find a solution, and when I learned this one simple trick, everything has changed. I've been using this trick ever since, and it's not only just helped me beat my procrastination, but also make the task more enjoyable and more fun. So the trick is gamify your task. There are so many ways that you can gamify your task. You can set a very strict time limit and force yourself to finish within the time limit. You can promise yourself that you will get a reward after that, or you can even promise yourself that you will get a punishment if you procrastinate. I know that it might not sound fun right now, but when you actually sit down, set a timer, and then prepare everything and start working, you will start competing with yourself, and you will get into a mini competitions with yourself that will push you to focus. I would say you may not get it if you haven't tried it, but trust me, I've used this method so many times, and every time it works perfectly on me. And one thing I love about this method is you don't need any fancy app or fancy stuff to start. You just need a timer and a real commitment to reward or consequences, whatever you have promised yourself to. So personally, I usually set a certain time, a timer, and then I will tell myself if I don't finish it within 1 hour, then no Netflix tonight. It sounds very simple, or maybe you think a little bit silly, but that actually works. And that is a very simple trick. So if you have any ideas, or you are also using this trick to gamify your task, to make it more fun, to beat your procrastination, comment down below and let me know what is your way to gamify your task. I would love to explore more ideas as well. We all know that when we are working on something that is mentally draining, that requires so much mental energy, and that is very difficult, we start to feel tired, drained, exhausted, and even getting stressed. And that's actually have research back it up. Intense cognitive efforts not only reduce the self-control, but also increase how much we value the rewards. This actually help explain why after a certain period of hard work, we are more tense to give in to the indulgent behavior like overeating, scrolling our phone, or even substance use. There are 2 experiments carried out in these studies. One is the rat experiment. So in that experiment, one group of the rats has to do low effort task, while the other group of the rats has to do high effort task. The high effort cognitive task is called attentional set shifting task. It's kind of like when you train your dog to sit and then you gave them a treat, but then suddenly you switch the rules. This time maybe you give them a treat only when they lie down. So the rats are doing such tasks that is they constantly have to adjust, relearn, and thinking when they can get a treat and when they cannot. The results show that the rats from the high effort group has consumed more cocaine as a reward after they have finished all the high effort tasks when compared to those that is just doing the easier task, that is the low effort group. The second experiment is done on human, but this time it's not cocaine. The results showing that human that went through high effort tasks, like they are trying not to think about a certain word, or when they write they have to skip a certain word, they enjoy snack like potato chips, chocolate way more than the group that is performing the low effort task. So when we're stuck in a mentally demanding work, it's not just laziness drive us to reach our phone. It's actually our brain seeking for a fast reward to relieve the mental stress and to relieve the high mental load that we are experiencing. And other studies actually backs this up. People check their phone more frequently when they are very stressed at work. Plus, if the phone is just sitting right next to you, the chance you pick it up is even higher. I feel this all the time, especially when I have to do some tasks that using so much of my mental energy, like scripting for my video. Whenever I get stuck, my mind will just start wandering, and then my mind would like to reach out for my phone and just scroll for 5 minutes of my Instagram. Then what can we do about it? Do you still remember the experiment that I've mentioned about the rat experiment? There's a follow-up research actually showing that if you give the rat some kind of rest after they have done the high mental task, it will reduce their craving for the cocaine. So the first step is giving yourself some real break when you are working on high mental load task. But that is very important thing is resting doesn't mean scrolling your phone. I've mentioned in another video that is about scrolling your phone is not resting. Scrolling your phone is actually stimulating your brain much more, using the same part of your brain much more. That is not going to give you a true rest. That is just going to make you more tired and more mentally exhausted. Rest means that you are doing something different. You are shifting your brain into a different mode, like taking a short walk, cooking, doing some handcraft stuff. Because genuine rest is not about doing nothing or isn't about scrolling your phone. It is about resting the part of the brain that has been overworked. Another thing that has helped me massively is breaking the task into a smaller and manageable step. It's just like when you're doing a hard workout. It's like whenever I go to the gym, the coach will ask me to do 15 reps of certain workouts. When I think of 15 reps, I would think there's so much, there's a lot, and it's going to be exhausting. I think 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 is much easier for me to finish the whole workout instead of counting from 15 to 0. It is the same logic with works. Just break it down into a smaller and manageable part. Focus on 1 minute step at a time. In this way, it will make the big and intimidating task less stressful, less intimidating, and it is easier to finish. Although I agree that phone can be a real distraction, but the truth is, whenever you're procrastinating, the phone isn't the real problem here. When things has broken, you don't just fix the surface symptom, you fix the root cause. And when it comes to the procrastination, the nature of the task is the root cause, is the real problem. If you want to see real progress, you need to tackle the real problem. Because imagine that a company is losing money, they look into their finance and find out 10% of losses is come from buying of a snack, 30% of loss is come from marketing, and 60% of loss is come from the customer returning the faulty products. You can save some money by cutting snack and also cutting the marketing. However, the biggest problem is the faulty products. So to make the biggest impact, you need to fix the 60% of the problem instead of the 10% and 30%. This is exactly why you need to fix the root cause of procrastination instead of just throwing away your phone. Yes, your phone sitting beside you maybe is distracting, but that's just 10% of the problem. The biggest problem is the task itself. It is really too difficult or it is really too boring that makes you have the thought of reaching out your phone to relieve the symptoms of stress, boredom, fatigue. So next time if you procrastinate, look into whether the task is too easy or too difficult for you. Then you will know what will be the solutions for you to fix the procrastination. And that's the end of this video. Thank you so much to watch till the end, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!